My name is Buck Chintamani, and I'm the director for our network supply and demand fulfillment solutions, anchoring solution strategy and marketing. It's amazing how industries have evolved the last 25 years. We have lived many lifetimes in 25 years, if you think of it. And Amazon is just a happening which happened then. Amazon came along, Uber came along, Airbnb came along, Waze came along, and each one started redefining what we expected from others. And with the whole growth in consumerization, consumers expect that degree of comfort at work as well when they're working. And so the supply chain managers worry today saying, I can call up an Uber and know exactly where the car is any moment in time, and it comes and picks me up on the dot. Why can't I know where my package is at any point in time? That's one side. On the flip side, as the world has become smaller, there's been more and more global sourcing because agreements have come up, trade agreements and partnerships and specialization of countries and products and so on. So people are sourcing garments from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from China and wherever. People are sourcing other products from Eastern Europe. And the markets keep changing based on various dynamics. It's political dynamics, it's economics, cost of labor goes up in one market, you source differently and so on. And with all that, what's happening is that these fulfillment managers, supply chain managers, chief procurement officers are being challenged now, saying, how do you optimally get products in and get to right place, right time, achieve that so-called mythical perfect order? And that's difficult. And for that, the first thing they need to know is where is the physical shipment right now? Is it coming on time? Is it delayed? Will there be a delay? Is the demand changing at this point? And can I match demand to supply well? And what are the costs linked to it? So you're balancing costs, you're balancing physical product, you're balancing customer orders, getting all together. And that's the true visibility challenge today. It's interesting how this whole notion of a supply chain has changed. So 25 years back, supply chain was the big new concept, right? So people like Toyota came along and said it's a value chain competing now. We'll have just in time and we'll keep our suppliers harmonized and get products on time and ship it out. And the supply chain became deeper and deeper. And which meant now you've got people sourcing from somebody who sources from somebody and goes down. And you no longer have the luxury of going one up, one down to trace a problem or locate a supply. So in garments, you've got cases where many of our biggest customers go and lock up source of suiting material, which is shipped to their factories to manufacturers, send up to them. And it happens even deeper if you go to other supply chains. I mean, there have been cases where in the food supply chain, it goes 6 levels deep, 8 levels deep. And if there's a food supply issue, a recall issue somewhere, and to track the root cause analysis there, going 8 levels deep takes almost 2 weeks, even for an efficient system. And so you can't go one up, one down anymore. So the core paradigm shift now to the value network now. And how does the network play out? And how do participants join networks, leave networks, be part of multiple networks, and be efficient? That's the challenge today. As companies move to a network model of their value chain is still being used, but the network model now, technology needs to not just keep pace, but almost be ahead of the change, because the network is going to morph again and again as people find the optimal one. And you find companies in the same industry having different strategies for networks. So in some cases, they postpone dyeing of cloth in the garment industry to much later in the value chain. In other cases, they get value add done very early in the value chain, which is much cheaper. And both models are right for different companies. And so how do you support and flexibly support multiple network models? And the basic paradigm here is that the whole historical on-site software solution is gone. It's a historical abnormality now. You can't really use that anymore. It has to be in the cloud. It has to be in the cloud, distributed so people can access it from multiple places. Participants can come on and access it. So you need security around that. You need to have a true multi-tenancy built into it in this cloud technology. And you need to really make it very dynamic, which means that as data flows in, how do you apply data science to the data flowing in to make sense of it and predict, for example, supply chain, dynamic ETAs better, to make dynamic ATP handle better. And therefore customers know what to expect and when. And that's where the whole cycle continues smoothly. So the network demand fulfillment solution is the solution of tomorrow. So companies have been solving problems step by step. So first on, they had ERP solutions with order management coming in there. And the whole notion was a customer order comes in, you do some allocation, figure out a purchase order, set it out, allocate to inventory and move on. And what happened outside the enterprise? Nobody cared. The next step up was distributed order management. So the .com boom happened and all these .coms came along saying we'll be in a zero inventory model and we'll drop ship magically from suppliers and somehow make money in the whole bargain. And what they realized then was ERP could not handle it because ERP, any of the ERPs, is designed to handle inventory owned by the enterprise. So now to go beyond the enterprise and find inventory buckets outside at a supplier, at a 3PL, maybe it's vendor managed inventory on somebody else's books. They needed this DOM solution, a distributed order management solution. But even a DOM solution has an inherent drawback. It's looking at inventory at rest. And there's a global supply chain where products are moving around. There's almost as much inventory in motion at any point in time as at rest. In fact, there's more in motion than at rest. And the old paradigm of saying the lead time is 7 days or 11 days does not help. Because if the ship left Hong Kong and takes 8 days to reach Long Beach, and the ship is just 1 day away, it's different from saying it's 8 days lead time, I won't do anything about it now. And what if there's a strike at Long Beach and you want to reroute it to Oakland? So how do you do all those things? So you need to track dynamically inventory in motion now. And that's the key next step in the whole evolution of order management and order fulfillment. So you're taking distributed orders, fulfilled from multiple places, and tracking inventory in motion as well, and looking at it in a very granular level. So drilling down from container level data to pallet level data to case level data to item level data sometimes, and shipping out products to customers optimally. So you know where to pick from, where to ship from. And a big driver here is again e-commerce, and e-commerce not just in the Amazon sense of retail, but in the B2B world as well. The customers are now buying stuff online, they want it shipped to a location somewhere. And how do you enable efficient cross-docking there? How do you enable efficient labeling so it goes to the right place? How do you know where to pick from and ship from? If somebody wants just one box of some special fastener, do you break open a large pallet and pull that one box out? Or do you find one box somewhere else, maybe pay a premium for it, but cost you less in handling cost? So it's that holistic view of fulfillment which is needed now. And that's where network demand fulfillment comes in. Because what we enable as a company today is a complete end-to-end view. So we can look from the factory all the way through to the customer demand signal. And that's a very powerful thing.